Good morning and welcome back to another video. This morning I'm going to be showing you a new stitch. A lot of you have been requesting that, so we're going to do this beautiful, beautiful stitch today. It is called the Ecuadorian lace weave, and it is just one of those pieces that are absolutely beautiful to wear. It is a solid piece, even though it looks delicate. No, this thing is solid, heavy. You're never gonna break it. It's so cool the way it's designed. This is for advanced beaders though. This is one difficult stitch. I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible. Now, the stitch is always done in 11s, not 8s like I'll be showing you. This is just for demo. So the material list is excellent because you only need 2 different colors. So I'm 2 different colors, 11s, then some 3mm accent beads, and they can be bicones, rondelles, pearls, druks, whatever you have would look absolutely stunning. One tip, this is a major important tip. The button, this is everything. You want to make sure you pick a button that has a very small shank hole, so that when you put the beads on, they don't fall through the hole. Because this is actually going to be our guide. And that's what I kept forgetting yesterday. I was like, why is this not, evening out? That's all it was the button, believe it or not. So I'm going to work 1 round in 11s with you to finish it and then show you how to add the loop on the 11s. But I'm going to teach you on 2 different colored size 8s and some 4mm rounds, and then another one of these beautiful buttons. And these are old, vintage, heavy-duty milk glass buttons. So I'm obsessed with collecting buttons. And one more thing I have to tell you, if you are comfortable with working with a lot of thread, you will need to do that with this piece. If you know how to weave in gently new pieces of thread, go for it. Whatever you're comfortable with. But this took 3 yards. It's almost all used up. There's only a little bit left. 3 yards for a 6 3/4 inch long bracelet. But that's up to you. If you're comfortable adding in thread, definitely do whatever you're comfortable doing. So for the mock version here, I'm just pulling 1 yard of thread, and we're going to start with whatever color you choose, and I'm going to just start out with this beautiful color here and pick up 11 beads, and then our button with the shank. I'm going to double check this count because I don't want to be off. Okay. And then we're going to slide it down all the way to the end, pick up our work, and we're going to tie this into a double knot. Let it grab. I really need that to grab and not be stubborn today. Of course it's stubborn, just because it's 100 degrees out here already at 6 in the morning. It's got to be difficult. So let's, I just threw a 3rd knot in there. We're going to also pop a needle onto this tail, and we're going to just weave right through, throw a couple more knots in. So don't stress if it doesn't grab. It happens sometimes. I don't know why, it just does. It's nothing to worry about though. Yeah, my friend actually who taught me this, I was like, no, I don't like it. I don't want to do it anymore. And she kept saying, just keep going. Do it. Keep going and see what happens. And the more I went along with it, I said, wow, that's outrageous how it's built. And I loved it ever since. And I built so many over the years, and they all sold. So I didn't have any examples or references. I had to literally go from this memory of mine, which is already full of so much other things. It's so hard to go back and try to remember, because this has a specific pattern that you have to follow. Okay, so now we're just going to take our needle, go through the shank, and we're going to run around all the beads. This is very important because this is going to show us exactly where we need to step out. So all I'm doing is running around, reinforcing, and then I'll show you where to exit. So here we are, right back up the shank, go through that shank plus 3 beads. So you want to exit the 3rd bead right after that shank. And it's going to look awful with these large size 8s because they're just bulkier and bigger. And I did not burn my little thread down enough. That'll drive me crazy, even though it's just an example piece. All right, so we have to work in a particular direction. So flip this whole thing over and just move the shank like this. Just like that. We're going to begin with the next color, and we're going to pick up 7. This is our first pattern. All right, make sure you have 7 on, slide it down, and here we go. I'm going to hold it up and wrap it around my finger just to show you. Okay, so we're exiting this bead. We're going to skip the next bead in the row. I'm going to loosen it a little bit so it's easier to see. All right, so we're going to skip the next bead. So we're coming out of here. We're going to skip this one. Right here, skip that, and we're going to just pick up the thread space after the bead we just skipped. Hold your thumb right there so the beads don't fall through, and then run right back up 3. 1, 2, 3. Give it a really good pull, and see, you want that bead tucked inside of that little loop. That's pretty much all you have to know. Now, the next group will be 4. So we start with 7, now it's 4. And again, we're going to skip. I don't know why that. See how meticulous I am? That would drive me insane having that little piece sticking out there. Okay, so now we're coming out of this bead. We're going to skip this one and pick up that thread space right there. Just like this. And you can still move it if you picked up the wrong area. You're not stuck with it until you go back up those 3 beads. And pull down, just like this. And then go right back up 3. Wow, it's really hard with the 8s because they're so large, but I want you to be able to see. So that middle bead should always be in the center there, and it will not look like that with the size 11s. It's going to be a little squishier using the 8s. Okay, now on to the pattern for the accent bead. It's always going to be 2, our accent color, and then 5. And I will write the pattern down online for you. So we're going to just skip the next bead. So the one this stack is on, we're just jumping that bead and picking up the thread space right after that. Hold your thumb right there. Use your thread to your advantage. Pull really hard and then run right back up 3. And then pull down. And the last 2 are 4. So it's 4. Again, skip this bead, pick up that thread space. I'm going as slow as I can here. Hold your thumb there so the beads don't slide back, and run right back up 3. Pull really hard. 4 more. 1 more time. Pick up that. So we're skipping this one, picking up the thread space right there. And then running right back up 3. All right, now here is where we step up. It's going to be a turn and a step up, but that's what you should have. Actually, that's super stunning. I've never done it with size 8s, never. I was taught on 11s, and that was all I knew. So, to step up, all you have to do is remember, we're going to weave back to the area that has the accent bead. That's it. That's all you have to remember. So here we are stepping out the last stitch we just did. So we're going to weave over and then down these 3 and then right into the work right here. And then we're going to exit. Here we are with the accent bead, just 3 beads. So 1, 2, and 3. And pull. This is extremely important to remember. We're going to take this whole piece and flip it over. Just like that. And now we're ready to begin all over again. It's going to get easier to see as we go down as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to start. Skip this next bead right here because our thread's coming out here. Skip this bead and pick up that thread space right in there. And I'll show you what to do if it moves or gets fussy. All right, I don't like the looks of that. So you can pull on this all day long. It's not gonna hurt anything. And force it in there. Just really force it down in there. And then weave right back up 3 beads. And give it a really good pull. Just like that. And like I said, since we're using the larger beads, you really have to crank down really hard. But it's a good way to practice. Okay, so now it'll be 4. And I'm going to slide it down. Skip this bead because we're coming out here. Just skip that next bead, pick up that thread space right after the bead you just skipped, pull, and then go right back up 3. And here we go with our accent pattern. So it's 2, around, and then 5. Slide it down. We're just going to jump the accent bead now and pick up that thread space, just like that, and go right back up 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's where we are right now. We're coming out this stack. We're going to skip this bead and go into that thread space. This is where it's going to get tight. Just keep going. We have 1 more stitch left after. Pull. I'm going to pull a little harder. Tension is extremely important. And here's our last 4. All right, so here we pick up this last stitch. Skip that last bead right there and go right through that thread space. And pull and go right back up these 3. And then we're going to weave over to the area that has the accent bead. Make sure everything looks good. And there we go. That's so beautiful. I just love this pattern. I just think it's so delicate and beautiful. Okay, so we're going to weave over and then down these 3. And then over this bead right here. Here we are at the accent section where we're always going to step up through 3. 1, 2, 3. And our very important flip. So take this whole thing, flip it right over. And now I always hold the button back like that and away just so I can hold it a lot easier. But that's, you know, up to you however you want to hold it. And like I said, the further on down you go, the easier this stitch gets. Trust me. So it's always 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're coming out right here. I'm going to make sure you really get it so we can move on to the one in progress. Coming out this one, skip this bead and pick up the thread space right after the bead you just skipped. Hold your thumb right there and then run right back up through 3. And it's always that first row that gives me the hardest time. So just pull down and there you go. Then it's 4. And here we'll skip this bead and go right in between that one and the accent bead. And then we're going to go right back up these 3. Okay, here's our accent pattern. So it's 2, and wow, I'm extremely close there. So 2 accent bead and then 5. Skip the accent bead and go into the thread space right after that beautiful bead. And then run right back up 3. Always going to go back up through 3. And now it's just 4 and 4. So 4, skip this bead, pick up that thread space, and run up those 3. And pull down. Our last 4, pick up that, see how we're going to skip that last one and squish it right into this space, pick up that thread space, and then run right back up these 3 and pull down. And then there you go. That is absolutely stunning with the size 8s. Actually, I really like that. Not the colors, of course. I picked some random colors just so it'd be nice and bright to show you. So we're going to weave back over. So back one at a time. So go through that 1 bead and then down these 3. No rush. Like I said, if you start to get tense and stressed with this one, just step away. Get up, stretch, go relax for a few minutes, because when I first started, I would find myself really tense and stressed out. Don't do that, because this is just one of those that once you get going, it's excellent. See how fast I'm going to move along? I'll show you just real quick. 1 more row. Flip this entire piece completely over, so we're always working this way. If you do not do that, you will see a huge mess. All right, so 7, and then like I said, I will put that repeat pattern on for you, and then back up through 3. And now that I have something to hold on to, it's going to start whipping, moving real quick. 4, right here, and then up 3, and then our accent pattern. I apologize, I'm extremely shaky this morning. I took my meds so I'd be able to actually breathe out here, because it's going to be in the hundreds today, so I wanted to get out here as early as possible. So apologize if I'm a little shaky. So 2, 4, 5. Jump that accent, pick up that thread space, and run right back up through 3. Excuse me. And then we'll pick up 4. And we'll go right through this one. See, once you get the pattern down, you just start flying. And our last 4. Here's our last stitch right here. Right back up 3. All right. And then I'll show you how to weave over. So we're going to go through this one, down these 3, and then over 1, and then up these 3. Just remember, it's always the row with the accent. And if it starts to look uneven, put it on a flat surface and smush it out like this. Just smush it. I know that's not a technical word, but there you go. So now I'm going to move on to one that is almost done, ready for the really cool loop, because it's incorporated right into the design, which you know I love. So there's the beautiful pattern in obviously a much larger scheme. Look at that. It's so beautiful though. Okay. So I'm going to do one last round, and I'm always remember to work. So if you get lost, remember your thread shouldn't be on this side. You should always be working this way. That's all. So if you put your work down and then you're like, oh shoot, I forgot which direction I'm going in, because that used to happen to me all the time, just remember you're always working this way. Okay, I'm going to begin with my last color with 7. Oh wow, it's hard going from 8s down. That was actually fun using the 8s. All right, so I have 7. I'm going to skip that. 11. Pull, and see right there how it grabbed 2. Just pull it back. Take your thread and make it go right in between that area. And it's being difficult, of course. Okay, right there. And pull. And then go right back up 3. And that only happened because I did not have my thumb over that work. Did it do it again? No, it's perfect. Okay, so now we'll do 4. Skip that one. Go right back up these 3. And then we'll pick up our pattern for our beautiful accent. 2, and then the accent bead, and 5. Skip the accent bead, go right through there. Now I'm holding my thumb there, so I'm not going to have any problems. Back up through 3, and then it's 4, right in here. And you can hear how hard I'm pulling because it snaps. Back up through 3, and here we go. This is where I told you, this is where it gets tight. See, our very last beads right here. See, it's moving. So that's the bead we'll skip and pick up that thread space. And we're really gonna pull down extremely hard. Go right back up through 3. And now I'm gonna weave over again, just like I'm getting ready to start a whole new row. A whole new round, excuse me, like we're doing it from the beginning. And here we are at the accent section, so I know I'm going to step out these 3 right here, and yep, my work is tight, definitely very tight right there. Okay, stepping out those 3, I know I'm going to flip my whole piece over, make sure it's flat, and here we go. We're going to add the loop, and it's so cool. It just works right into the design. So we're going to continue like it's a regular pattern. So it's 7, 5, 6, 7. Skip that bead, go into that thread space, and I'm going to hold my thumb this time, and then right back through 3 and pull. Then it's 4, right through here. And I'm losing it. You can see how I'm losing it, and the beads are gonna fall through. Just take your time, pull it back, put your thumb there. Okay, pull down, there you go. All right, here we go. So right here is where we're gonna add enough beads to encircle our loop. And I went and pre-counted what I would need, so it's going to be 30. picked up 28, excuse me for that. And I just want to do a test, just a test fit. So all I do is I'll make a loop like this because I just want to make sure it's not going to be too big or too small. And I want to make sure I counted correctly. And actually, I'm going to add 2 more. All right, so once you have the right amount on, all you're going to do is treat it like another stitch. So we're going to skip that accent bead, pick up that thread space right there, and then run right back up 3, and that looks absolutely enormous. Let me check this really quick. Oh my goodness, that's too big. That's way too big. And like I said, this is one I want to keep, so sorry. All right. So I picked up 26. I don't even know what size that button is, but it's pretty large. So sorry about that. All right, so treat it just like a stitch. Skip over that accent bead, hold your thumb there, and go right back up 3. And then we'll finish with our last 2 rounds, which will be 4 of each. So pick up 4, skip that bead, go right through there, that thread space. And pull and go right back up 3. And one more time. Here we go, we have to squish it in. That's our last one. Squish it right in that thread space. Pull and go right back up 3. All right, let's see how beautiful that looks. Now we're just going to go and reinforce, throw in a couple knots, and we're all done. So I'm going to weave back over and down. And this time I'm going to go all the way around the loop because one time is just not going to cut it for me. For the clasp part, you want to be very, very sturdy because you're going to be pulling on it quite a bit, and you just want that area very, very stable. So run around all the beads in your loop. And it's so weird. These are usually not my colors, but it just worked. Everything worked so beautifully. All right, and then back down into the work. So I just went around, tightened everything up, and now I'm going to weave, let's see. You just want to find an area, like I'm going to go right down this center row, right here. Right next to this accent bead, because I know I can tuck a really good knot, or 2 in there, excuse me. So right here, I'm going to pull down, and it's not going to distort the pattern. So 2 knots, and then weave right through that accent bead, and you're good to go. You do not have to do heavy reinforcing with this because we already went up and down. And then burn as close as you can. I'm going to put it on a flat surface for just a second, smush it down. And there you go. And that is absolutely stunning. I love, love, love this. Like I said, these are normally not my colors, but when I put them together, I said, I love it. Because just these little beads right here, they pick up so much of the colors that I'm using. And I will put these colors if you choose, if you like, and I will put the pattern down. And I just want you to relax and have fun with this stitch. It's very, very cool. A very unusual way to build a bracelet, and I think it's super, super beautiful. So have fun and enjoy this and have a wonderful day, and I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye-bye.